Welcome into another video. My name is 2O Butters, and today we have such exciting news. For April Fool's Day, there's a 5-day event where in trainer battles, the switch timer has been changed from 60 seconds to 30 seconds, cut in half. And it is amazing. I love it so much. After the 5 days, it will revert back to normal. I believe. Niantic said that. I hope it doesn't happen. Please stay forever, the 30-second timer. And today, I'm just going to talk about the pros and cons of this 30-second switch timer, what I think about it, how I think it changes the game, and at the end, I'll have a little quick demonstration from my stream today of using that switch timer in a full set. So here we go. Okay, let's get into the pros first because I do think this is such a good change. Not only is it enjoyable, but I think it's good for the future of the game, and it really, really goes well with my playstyle. I don't know how many times I have lost a game because I refused the double shield for swap advantage, where swap advantage would have won me the game, because I feel that your energy management and your shield advantage should be more impactful ways of winning than just having a dominant matchup. And unfortunately, that's not the way the game works right now. Switch advantage is the most important thing in the game because it gives you those dominant matchups. And I know a lot of people run like A, B, B teams to try to bait out the opponent's biggest counter for B, so then the other B on their team can roll through a team with dominant matchups, because all you want to do in this game is get just dominant matchups. And maybe this will change the way we play. Maybe this will make it so energy management and shield management and quick decision making, timing, all that stuff will be more impactful than just grabbing the right matchup. So I hope that's the case, and let's get into these pros. Okay, so first of all, the gameplay is more dynamic. More actions equals more decisions, more things to be aware of, more skill. I don't know how many of you have tested it out so far and played GBL day one, maybe played some Sylph tournaments or just played against your friends, but there are so many more decisions to make already. Just having the thought in the back of your mind, oh, they might swap out on this move because the switch timer is so low that it's not really too bad to be switch locked, because if you throw a charge move or two, like if I throw a charge move, they throw a charge move, like it's almost like the switch timer is back up. So they could like be trying to swap at any time, so you have to be really careful what you throw. You can bank a move and then swap out and then try to like do more combo plays with a shorter switch timer, like throw your move, switch into another Pokemon that had energy, throw that move, or use that more often as a sack swap. So there's just more layers to the game, I believe, when the switch timer is lower. And the more layers, more factors, more things you have to be aware of, the better it is for a game, in my opinion. So, number two, it's a higher skill cap. Not just timing, but memorization of matchups that are not just stagnant sims. So, with a longer switch timer, you can get away more with just knowing, like, okay, who wins this matchup straight up? Equal energy, equal shields, we're in the lead. How do I win this matchup? Because it's a very stagnant situation. But once you start swapping, and then now you're at 80% health, and you have to come back into that matchup later, and the opponent's at 90% health, how much did that matchup flip? How much can you take now? The dimensions of the game changes when the game becomes more fluid, and when there's more switching going on, it becomes more fluid, and it really benefits the players that know exactly how much damage a move will do, exactly how much damage a fast move will do, and they can quickly calculate and see in their mind how much they're going to take, and be composed in the moment and use that to their advantage, where it's a lot different than just having the stagnant situations of equal shields, equal energy. And I think that's really exciting. More fluid gameplay, more skilled players, more talented players will rise to the top, I think. So that's exciting to me. So getting the skill cap higher is really good for a game trying to go into esports, which I hope Pokemon Go is trying to do. So I'm very excited that I think it becomes a little bit higher of a skill cap while you're playing, and possibly even more of a higher skill cap for strategy. How do you build your team? And it's just happening for 5 days, so it's not a permanent change. So I don't know how in depth the strategies will get. Maybe a lot of people are just going to be running like Melmetal, Deoxys, and Mew with Wild Charge just to try to benefit from being able to switch out of those debuffs. But I think if this went long enough, there would be a lot more different strategies, different teams that pop up that would be quite exciting. Number 3, RPS is less of a problem than with Old Timer. You find yourself stuck less. And I have a clip later where I led Dragonite into Bastion, and I was able to like get out of that matchup twice, which is really exciting. So you're stuck in these bad matchups less, which is, the easiest way for you to lose. So if you're stuck in a bad matchup, that's terrible for you, amazing for your opponent. So being able to be stuck in these bad matchups less is good for the game, because I mean, if you're just stuck in a Bastion versus Altaria for a minute straight, it's not really exciting for anyone but the Bastion. Bastion is the only one pumped about this. If it's a tournament, the people watching aren't excited. The shoutcasters aren't that excited. The Altaria's bummed out. And the Bastion's the only one happy. So being able to move around more is good for the game, in my opinion. And number 4, opens the door to new strategies. And if this was a permanent thing, I believe that not only could the community evolve their strategies with how to play with this quicker timer, but I believe Niantic could actually implement more layers to the game, possibly status effects, possibly weather, and what I would love the most, buffs that buff your entire team or debuff the opponent team for the entire game. You would have to spend energy on it. Maybe it could be shielded. I don't know. I won't go into depth into that, but I would love some synergy between my Pokemon, not just with the coverage of the Pokemon, but actually having one Pokemon help the other Pokemon out. I would absolutely love that. So I feel like this would be a great opportunity to implement more changes into the game with a shorter switch timer. Because the gameplay is just getting more dynamic, and adding those layers would make it even better, in my opinion. I mean, you never know how things will turn out, but I would be super excited to try some new strategies or new mechanics. Number 5, the gameplay is just more fun, in my opinion. Like, it's really fun being able to get out of matchups, try to catch on more things. The in game is the really fun part of it. Like when there's 2 Pokemon that are alive and you have energy on both Pokemon, maybe you have a shield each, and just trying to efficiently play the end game with swapping and catching a move, or swapping, throwing a move when the opponent's low health, catching them off guard. I think the in game becomes much more dynamic, which is super exciting. I love those in game situations and those interactions. So I'm really excited for that, and I think the gameplay is really fun. I hope you guys tried it out today, and let me know if you think the gameplay is fun. I know some people think it's like too hectic, a lot of things going on. It's a lot different. So I guess maybe if you had fun, depends on if you gained or lost elo today. But I went about even. Like, I think I went like 13 and 12 trying some new things out, and so I didn't really gain much points, but I loved it. So I'm so excited to play tomorrow. Number 6, it's a more exciting esports presentation. Like I was saying earlier, when you're stuck in a matchup for a minute between Bastion and Altaria, it's just not exciting gameplay to highlight your game. It's just basically tapping on your phone, and there's nothing either player can really do. So to have more options, more ways to wiggle out of RPS, more decisions to make, more moves to make, more sack swapping is exciting for the players, for the viewers, for the shoutcasters. Imagine if someone just goes off on like a 3 sack swap in takes 3 sack swaps in a single game and just like completely rolls over his opponent because of his really good timing and knowing what the opponent's trying to do, and just completely outplays them. And that would be super exciting. Or someone loses the lead really badly but is able to wiggle out of it with really good swaps, really good energy management, really good shield management. So making the game more dynamic by decreasing the switch timer, I think it's just going to be a much better viewer experience for esports in the future, which I am trying to be a shoutcaster for Pokemon Go. I have a lot of experience with it so far. I've done a lot of tournaments so far, and I'm super excited to shoutcast 30-second switch timer. So I cannot wait. And it's just good news also that if they're making like changes like this to the overall structure of gameplay, hopefully that means they value PvP more. The more effort they will put into it, and the better it'll be, hopefully. So the more they work on making the game more dynamic, or trying to shake things up to make it a better experience, it means they care. And if they care, I think it will get better. And if it gets better, it's better for everybody. So I'm excited about that. And lastly, just number 7, I stare at Bastion stupid faceless. So I don't like Bastion. I don't like matching up against it. And I was in a Dragonite matchup with it today, and I could just swap out, and then I got caught in it again. I swapped out again, and I just don't have to deal with the Bastion as much, and that's just great for everybody, except for those Bastion users. Maybe they want to stick on you a little more, but I'm happy to get away from those Bastions. So overall, I think it's a fantastic change. Obviously, it's just a 5-day test. Maybe they're testing it for the future. Maybe this is just something fun they decided to let us play with. I really hope it's something that they implement later. I really, really enjoy it. I'm going to be so sad when it leaves. You guys don't realize I'm going to be so sad when it leaves. I'm going to be begging for Niantic to bring it back, and I hope you guys join me in begging them because I absolutely love it. Okay, now that I've established that I really enjoy it, I will go over some cons to it because it is fair to look at both sides. And I know not everyone was super happy with the change for these next 5 days. So let's just get into the cons just to be fair about it all. Number 1, make some strategies teams less viable than they were before. Like, I know Waller was talking about how ABB teams were worse than they were before. And an ABB team is like, for example, it's like a Venusaur, Bastiodon, Galarian, Stunfisk, where Venusaur is the A, the 2 tanks, the Bastion and the G-Fisk, are the Bs, and if you don't see a fighter in the lead, because Venusaur is supposed to help against the fighters and the water types that beat G-Fisk and Bastiodon. So if you don't see that fighting type or water type in the lead, you just swap out either the G-Fisk or the Bastion to try to bait out the counter that they have for Bastiodon or G-Fisk, which would be most likely the fighting type or the water type. And then you sack your B, and then you take out their counter, and then you kill that counter with Venusaur, and then theoretically your Bastiodon in the back should dominate because they don't have an answer to it. So I know Waller was saying maybe this ABB strategy is worse, but my argument there is, and I don't know if I explained that perfectly. If you want, check out Waller on Twitter. I probably butchered that explanation, but my point is ABB teams really the thing that we were trying to save while making the gameplay more dynamic? I understand that it's a very popular strategy. I use it as well. I use a lot of like double ice teams, things like that, because it's a very good strategy. It works well, but I don't think it's like, if it hurts that, let's not make changes, because I think the game needs to be more dynamic. There needs to be more actions, decisions, factors, strategies in the game. And yes, maybe it makes ABB teams worse, but it opens the door to so many other things, and people will adapt, and fun and good viable strategies will come out because of it. So that is a con, though, that maybe teams that you've had before, strategies that you have before are just worse. Maybe you put in some resources or a lot of time mastering those teams, and now they would just be worse, which is not fun for people that really enjoyed those teams or, yeah, really liked what they were doing, and now it's changed. So I can understand that. For me, I think that it's just so good for the game, but we're in the cons section, so let's just keep with cons. Number two, this might be a problem. Strong moves like Superpower, Psycho Boost, Wild Charge, and Brave Bird that debuff you are really strong. Uh, these moves can be kind of too strong right now, because if you can just lead with a Deoxys or a Melmetal and just like get these really strong moves like Psycho Boost or Superpower off and just switch out, do them again later, switch out, and you're not really taking the negative effect that these moves are balanced around. These moves are really strong because they come with a fault where you will take more damage after you use them, and with a longer timer, you're more likely to be stuck in these negative situations. But with a shorter timer, you're less likely to be stuck with these negative situations. So you're just getting the positive, which is the really strong moves out of it. So these moves might be too strong for the time being. If this was a permanent change, that would be a con to it. That's something that Niantic could fix. They could tone them down a little bit or make some adjustments. There's not a ton of these moves that are overpowered, but there is a select few that might be too strong, so that's definitely a con. Number three, possibly more room for server error, like sneaking in fast moves. I don't know why I said snuck in fast moves. I don't know if that's proper English, but this is a con list, so I'm going to con English right here and just say it anyway. But yeah, so imagine if we're having problems with the server and there's invisible fast moves going through, extra fast moves going through, and that's a result of all the switching. And I don't know this to be true. I'm just speculating, but this could be a con or a downside to this faster switch timer, is maybe more fast moves will sneak in, which is not great for the game. So that could definitely be a downside. Number four, people that like Pokemon might prefer the OG, the original battling, which is turn-based. And this would be much faster than that. This gameplay is much faster than turn-based. There's going to be a lot of reaction, a lot of timing, a lot of movement. So it is more of a diversion from the original turn-based games. And if that is where you fell in love with Pokemon and where you would like to see Pokemon go, it's just kind of Pokemon Go. This is kind of the opposite direction. Number five, they dropped it mid-season, and some people might not think that is fair to leagues they like, especially Master League Classic. I saw some talk about this on Twitter where Master League Classic doesn't get much love and people really enjoy it. And to drop this during Master League Classic, they were a bit upset about, because they would just like to enjoy it how it was. It's Master League Classic. It's what they like, and they would like to just play their level 40 Pokemon and not have to deal with this switch timer, which it is just a surprise announcement. So maybe some people would not enjoy that. I don't see how you can be unhappy with like a surprise trip to Disneyland. It's so fun, but maybe you had plans to play Master League Classic. So, but yeah, so those are the cons. I'm sorry if I was sarcastic about any of the cons. These are legitimate possible downsides to making the switch timer 30 seconds, but I just think that the upside just completely outweighs it. So, in summary, I just think that this is so good for the game. It's going to make the gameplay much more dynamic. It's going to make, I hope, charge moves, energy management, timing, decision making more impactful than just having a positive matchup. Where right now, getting that positive matchup is your biggest advantage in Pokemon Go. And that leads to things being rock, paper, scissors, or a lot of team compositions like ABB trying to bait out their counter so you can just roll in dominant matchups with your other B, with your Bastiodon. B's for Bastion. It's not really, but it should be. But I love it. I hope it stays. Please don't go. Please make this a permanent change. Let's all bug Niantic if you're on my side. And if you're not on my side, let me know in the comments. And I'm curious what other people think about it. I would love to have a discourse and discussion with people about this. Maybe I'll try to get other content creators or other streamers, top battlers possibly, to talk about this and see what their opinion is. But I absolutely love it. I can't wait to play more tomorrow, and I hope you're all enjoying it too. And if you're not, it's only 5 days. So, yeah, without further ado, let's just get into one set I played on stream that kind of showcased and highlighted this new Switch timer. And here it is. Okay, game number 1 of this set. We got the Dragonite into Meganium, and obviously dominant matchup. So, here comes a Say Swap Talonflame. It's met with my Empoleon, which I can just maintain this swap advantage now. And half of me just wants to shield this and farm down, which is probably the best play. But I'm like, we're living in a different world now. Swap advantage doesn't matter. We're 30-second timer. So I'm just not going to go for swap advantage. I'm just going to go for shield advantage. So I'm just going to throw this Hydro Cannon, and he could shield me and farm down, which I think he's going to try to do. This does get shielded. He does go to the farm down. But then what I realized about this is I don't really have anything to absorb this Brave Bird with. So I'm just going to have to shield the Brave Bird anyway. So really, I basically gave him swap advantage, where I had a dominant matchup of Dragonite into Meganium. So misplay by me, but it's a different era. It's an era of the Switch clock. So let's see if I can pull it out. So what comes in? I'm just like, worst case is Bastion on your G-Fisk. And it, of course, is a G-Fisk. So instead of matching up my Dragonite into a Meganium, I'm now matching it up into a G-Fisk. I tried to swap on a Rock Slide, didn't get it. Here comes the Meganium. And look at the timer just go so quickly. By the time I Body Slam, by the time maybe he throws a move, it's just going to be timer back up already. So I just go for this Body Slam straight away. The timer, after one more charge move by somebody, it seems like the timer will be back up. And it looks like he's going to throw a Frenzy Plant. No, yeah, he does throw a Frenzy Plant, but I'm quite close to another move, which is pretty good. I don't know if I want to farm up to another move to throw later. I think I just want to try to get back in the Dragonite as soon as I can. And I swap straight back in the Dragonite because I had a move banked. So I could just Dragon Claw this thing, maybe force a shield. Did we get this shield here? A shield would be huge. We do get the shield. That is huge. And here comes the G-Fisk. I'm out of Rock Slide range, but I cannot take 2 Rock Slides. But the thing is, by this time, if you swap in, throw a move, and then take a move, like, my timer's almost back up. Look at my timer. It's almost back up. I could throw another move, but I think I'm going to try to swap out. I try to swap on a move. I go for the Superpower, and the Superpower almost KOs. Even though I was stuck in this bad situation, I'm maneuvering around it a bit, which is really fun. Obviously, he had no shields. He has to throw, or else I'm going to farm him down. And now I just try to finish this game with Dragonite. I have a shield for it. This Stunfisk is really low health, so I can probably just Dragon Breath it down. I go for the blind Dragon Claw to kill the Stunfisk because I didn't want it to throw another move. And he swaps, catching it on the Meganium, which is just going to KO the Meganium. And oh, doesn't quite KO it, but can I get there before he gets to a Frenzy Plant? I do, so now I just have to get to a Dragon Claw before he gets to 2 Rock Slides. Here's one of the Rock Slides, which I knew he had, which I wanted to throw the Dragon Claw to kill him with. And I shield this. I'm just trying to get to this Dragon Claw, but I do just kill with Dragon Breath instead. So that's a GG. I gave up Swap Advantage, which isn't a really great play, but with the new timer, like, you can just make moves. You can make plays around it, which is just super exciting. Game number 2 of this set. Let's see what we get. We get an Umbreon. Negative lead. Umbreon does beat Dragonite in Great League because Dragonite is a lot less frail than Umbreon is. Umbreon's still very tanky, so I try to swap out a foul play, go into my Snorlax. I really like going to my Snorlax because he gets the moves pretty quick and he can superpower and then swap out himself once he gets to some moves. So I really like to say swap Snorlax, and I'm just going to stay in here. He's staying in here too. Looks like he's just going to throw the foul plays. And by this time, if I throw a superpower, my clock is just going to be back up. So I can just throw my superpower and get out. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just spamming on the superpower. I let a Snarl through, or I don't deny him that Snarl. I just go for this superpower, and then I'm just going to get out. And now Umbreon has faced his third Pokemon of the match already. We simultaneously swap. So he swaps into the Azumarill at the same time. I swap into Empoleon, which is interesting because he knew I was going to swap. So did he think I was going to swap to the Dragonite? And I did not. So here comes a move from the Azumarill. I resist everything it does. But Azumarill is so good that it can beat Empoleon in the one shield. Because look how much damage I've taken already. It's just so thick. I let it bubble through, which is not ideal. I'm just going to go for this Drill Peck. But at this time, my timer is almost up again. What am I going to do? I can do anything. He shields that. So I swap. We simultaneously swap again. We're just swap happy at this point. I take a foul play at this range. So I can just get to the superpower. And Umbreon's going to be out of the way. And I'm going to be up 2-1 shields. I'm going to be lower health. But I'll have the shield advantage, which is good with Dragonite. And hopefully he just doesn't have like an ice type in the back. If he doesn't have an ice type in the back, I'm in a decent spot. Or a Bastion. Even G-Fist I could deal with, but not a Bastion. Take out the Umbreon. I'm basically at my timer again. So do I save my Snorlax? I do save my Snorlax. I swap into the Empoleon, and in comes a Hypno. A Shadow Hypno. I should be able to get the 2 Hydro Cannons. Proper timing on that throw for me. I should get to these 2 Hydro Cannons, which is going to force a shield because he cannot take 2 Hydro Cannons. There's 1 Hydro Cannon, and number 2 here is going to force the shield, his last shield. So I'm going to have 2 shields to his 0 shields, but he's going to have energy on his Pokemon, where I am pretty energy dry, except for the Dragon Claw I believe I saved. I think I have a Dragon Claw on Dragonite, so the smart thing to do would just throw that Dragon Claw, but I don't throw it straight away. If I had thrown it straight away, I would have won CMP, but I was afraid of him maybe swapping to his Azumarill. But I could have cut off this Hypno's entire energy. And then I swap straight away, and I catch the combo move, which is huge. I catch the Ice Beam combo move. I knew the Azumarill had energy, so I was just trying to get out of there. And then now there's no shields. Hurricane does a good amount versus Azu. I'm not running the Shadow Dragonite, which I wish I was, but Hurricane does a decent amount, and Hurricane plus Dragon Breath damage is going to probably be enough. So Hurricane almost KOs him, and then 1 Dragon Breath that registers at the same time does KO him. And then here comes Hypno with no health, and I just farm him down. So again, a really fun match. A lot of swapping. We kind of got swap happy, but good times, and it worked out well. Okay, game number 3 of this set versus Kitty Pryde. Let's go. We got Dragonite into Scrafty. So this is a positive lead, but it's not that positive because he could actually bait me with a Power Punch and get to a foul play and kill me, but he swaps into the Hypno, which is pretty good. I have 2 options for it. I do go into the Empoleon because I feel like Snorlax at least can superpower Scrafty. But the thing is, I do take these big Thunder Punches. So maybe the proper move would to be have gone into the Snorlax, because Snorlax just wins this matchup better. The Hypno could have Focus Blast because there's a regular Hypno. Usually regular Hypnos run Thunder Punch, Focus Blast, but go for the cannon. He does shield that. And then swaps, but we simultaneously swap, which is not great for me. I decided I wanted to go into my Snorlax. He decided he wanted to go into Scrafty. And now this is not great because I'm kind of like sacking my Snorlax for no reason. And it's not ideal. He has 1 shield left. I can go for the superpower, but it doesn't KO. So really bad simultaneous swap. If he had swapped and I had noticed that, I would have gone into the Dragonite. It would have been much better for me. I could have saved the Snorlax for later, but it is what it is. It's a fast-paced game. Now I go into Dragonite myself. I'm trying to get to this Dragon Claw before he gets to any moves, and I don't. So I have to shield here because a foul play that is power-up punched is going to hurt a good amount. So I do shield that. And then what comes in for him? A Skarmory. So this is really bad because instead of meeting that Scrafty earlier with my Dragonite, I met it with the Snorlax. And then now I have to use this Dragonite versus Skarmory, where I would have had a Snorlax versus Skarmory. So that simultaneous instant swap by me kind of lost me the game. I could have been a little more patient, which is something that I'll learn to do, have a little bit more composure. But I'm just going for this Hydro Cannon. But this game is going to be tough to come back from. I'm pretty low health on all my Pokemon now. I do have some health on Dragonite, but Scrafty is going to farm me down, and I don't know if Scrafty has any energy. Might have a Power-Up Punch. I feel like I could maybe just Dragon Breath it down, wait my timer, and then go for a big Hurricane on the Skarmory. but I don't think the Hurricane's enough because Skarmory's too healthy and it resists it. So I'm just going to swap straight away. I swap straight away onto the Hypno, and he throws a move, and this is just bad. I just have no play here because I have to hit a Hurricane and a Dragon Claw before he hits anything on that Skarmory, and he's got energy on Skarmory. So this is an example of the switch timer being a little crazy, and like people are just switch happy, and it kind of made me make a mistake here, but that's fine. Like, this is something to you adjust to, and I'll play better next time. And it's still a pretty fun game that gets kind of close in the end because that Skarmory is pretty low health. The Hypno's very low health, but this will take me out. So my first loss of this set, but I'm really enjoying the team. I'm really enjoying the new mechanic. Let's get into the next game. Okay, game number 4. We got the Dragonite into a Lickitung, and let's see how XL it is. Oh, it's very XL. It's $14.99. So this is going to be tough to deal with. Lickitung is a great Pokemon, and so I try to swap on a Body Slam. Don't get it. Medicham is in the back, and we're both doing super effective damage here, but Medicham does just kind of outbulk me and win this matchup. This could be a Psychic. It doesn't quite KO, but it does a ton of damage. But I'm just going to let it go either way, and it is that Psychic. I'm hoping to get to 2 Body Slams, but I just don't think I'll get enough energy, so I'm gonna have to come in with Dragonite and try to farm down, which is gonna be scary. I do get to the 1, but I come Dragonite straight away because I did have some energy. Here comes Lickitung, and I'm just gonna throw the Dragon Claws. This is what's so fun about it. My timer's already back up. I even forget as I'm casting this. Timer's back up. Like, go. Like, timer's up. Get out. Like, you got the Medicham out. You heard it. Get out of there. And then here comes a Body Slam from the Lickitung. I do shield this. I could take a Body Slam at this range, but I'm close to another Dragon Claw, which might force a shield from him. And then my timer is going to be back up after this Dragon Claw. So I could just get out again. Maybe I'll go to the Empoleon because I can resist the Body Slam and take neutral Power Whips. But I could also go Snorlax because I could... I do go to the Empoleon. And I'm met by the Medicham. And I just want to farm down this Medicham. But look at how much damage these counters are doing. And come on, get there before a move. I don't get there before a move. If it's Psychic, it's going to hurt a decent amount. If it's Ice Punch, it's double resisted. So let's see what it is. It is the Psychic. Ouch. Okay, so I'm pretty low health here. But I'm going to Blind Throw. And if he waits his timer, and then I Blind Throw, and it's a Pelipper. Wish I Blind Threw the... Drill Peck here, but that's okay. I'm going to swap into the Dragonite once again, and I don't think I can even take a Weather Ball from this range. And now he swaps into his Lickitung, but he's kind of low. At this range, I could almost farm him down. And this is the end game I was talking about, where we're swapping, we're throwing banked up moves that are low energy, but he just leaves himself vulnerable to a farm down. So I'm just going to throw the Dragon Claw straight away. This is his last Pokemon. No more swaps to worry about here. And I just need to get to another Dragon Claw, but I'm pretty sure he's going to outpace me. But I have some health on Snorlax. I was trying to sack on the Snorlax, but I have to take this damage. But I have some health, and he doesn't have that much energy, so he's pretty energy dry. I could just outpace him on the Snorlax with this little health Snorlax. I'm going to wait my timer just in case I want to swap into the Empoleon later, but I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to get it. And this takes out a Pelipper. That's what I really like about Snorlax too, is it's pretty good against these Weather Ball throwers. And that's a GG. That was a really fun game. Really fun in-game also. Okay, last game of this set here. And we got the Dragonite into the Azumarill. So a bad lead, obviously. I'm not in any hurry to swap straight away, so I'm just going to count bubbles, try to swap on an Ice Beam, because I'd rather just get some damage here, resist the bubbles. I tried to swap on the Ice Beam, didn't get it. He saved his energy, so he's just going to go more bubbles. And this could be a Hydro Pump even. I'm just going to no-shield whatever it is, and it is the Play Rough, which is okay. Maybe he doesn't have Ice Beam, which is good for later on, but he is staying in here as of now. So I could just throw the Body Slam, and then I'm back at my timer again almost, pretty much. So I could just throw this Body Slam and then try to get out to the Empoleon, and then he'll... Oh my god, I do. So but we CMP. That's okay. I'll let this go, and then I can go to my Empoleon later. But I don't think he has a Fighting type because he would have swapped out already to it. So maybe I do want to bank a move. So I'm going to get to a move to bank later and then swap. And then we simultaneously swap. And he swaps it to a Marowak, which is just so good for me. And I don't know. I mean, he didn't know I had Empoleon, but he swapped out to catch a Body Slam, but he knows I have Dragonite. So maybe he was trying to bait out my Dragonite, but Dragonite's a really dominant matchup, and Empoleon's a very dominant matchup. So I'm just going to throw this Hydro Cannon because I can't full farm it down. But he does shield. But I have energy on Dragonite, so combo move. And is he going to go down 2 shields to nothing? I love how quick the switch timer is. I can just use combo moves. I can bank energy on a Pokemon, finish off a Pokemon later with a low energy move. I absolutely love it. I did switch lock my Dragonite, but by the time I throw another Dragon Claw and shield a move, I can get out again. So this Dragonite is going to be the one to try to close this game for me. I don't know what's in the back, but we already saw Azu and one ghost. I'm assuming there's another ghost, and here's that other ghost. He brings it in, and this is fantastic for me because I can start just unleashing the Dragon Claws now. And if I get the 2 Dragon Claws before he gets to a move, or if I try to sack on a move, I have a superpower on the Snorlax. And at this point, like, now I don't have to shield anything on Dragonite because the Sableye is going to be almost dead. I have a Body Slam on that Snorlax. I have some health on Empoleon. So this is looking quite good for me. Azu is low enough health to die to a Body Slam. So I take this Foul Play. I can go Empoleon. I can farm down. He's going to swap out to the Azumarill. I'm going to go for the Drill Peck. Drill Peck isn't quite enough at this range, but it's close. So we're going to see how much more Drill Peck. Yeah, just 1 more Waterfall, hopefully. Oh, 2 more Waterfalls. That Bunny is tanky. And he goes down, and then now I just have the superpower. But I'm going for the Body Slam for BM, because why not? Switch timers are fun. Let's just switch timer, undercharge it so I can get the lick down. And that's a GG. That's a GG. So I love this. I love this mechanic. I hope you're all enjoying it too. Maybe I'll do a part 2 about this after I played it for a couple of days, but I'm so hyped on it. I really hope they make this a feature for the future. And that's it for the video today. I'll see you next time.